Howdy people. So, as you can see, we're here in the paint booth. We're gonna be getting ready to weather this Intermountain HO scale CSX ES40DC, number 5288 here. Got this off of eBay for about 170 bucks with DCC and sound. It was missing some of the handrails, a plow, and I think that's about it. But I added a new plow, fixed the handrails up. As you can see, they're actively drying right now, so I'm gonna try not to handle this thing too much. But I also added some brake chains on both sides. But we're gonna be working on weathering that. We're gonna apply the fade coat tonight and hopefully try to finish most, if not everything, up tomorrow and Sunday. By the way, this is Friday, January 23rd, 8 o'clock on the dot. So we're gonna be following along with a video by the Central Florida Model Railroaders, I believe. And we're going to be using that as a guide to help weather this. And I'm also going to be applying some of my own effects to, one, get all the soot marks, just overall grind. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so before we get started painting here, I'm going to give y'all an introduction to what I'm going to be using. Here we have my airbrush, my Harder and Steinbeck Evolution CR airbrush, master airbrush, air compressor, standard air hose, the model I'm going to be painting, phone, brown, white, and black, Vallejo paints, mixing cup, 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol, master's touch acrylics, white, light gray, black. That'll be what we're going to be using for just the fade coat on that. I'm going to be working on the fade coat tonight, letting that dry overnight, and then working on everything tomorrow. So, yeah, anyway, let's get started. Alright, so starting off here, as you can see, we have a reference video playing. The title is Weathering a Scale Trains HO CSX AC4400CW Locomotive by the Central Florida Model Railroaders. I will link their video in the description of this video, so y'all can use this as a guide and kind of see basically how I did this. Let's go ahead and get started with this. Alright, so with this, I'm going to be making a fade coat. A light base fade coat with just some light gray, which I will use this Master's Touch acrylic. Master's Touch acrylic light gray paint for. Got this stuff from Hobby Lobby. So we're going to take this, our rubbing alcohol here, and yeah, so we're going to be taking this. We're going to be making a light fade coat with this cup. I need to get a paintbrush. I'm just going to use the tail end of this to mix it up. And then, yeah, I just need our paint, which I will use. That should do us there. You can see maybe sort of a milky consistency here. Rolls around nicely. Get all this stuff stirred up, and then I'm going to put it in the airbrush. Alright, so this is a master airbrush compressor running at about, I believe, 25 psi while spraying. Let me check. It's the ideal turn this down. 20, 25, just about there, I believe. About 25 psi. Already gauge there. Take that. Now we're going to load up the paint in the airbrush. Pop the cap there. You can see our airbrush here, air hose connected, good to go. Very carefully load the paint in the airbrush here. Paint cup full. Go ahead and give it a test spray. Go ahead, test spray paint. Make sure it's not too wet, not too dry. I think that's just about perfect. So I'm gonna put my gloves on, and we're going to start painting. Got our airbrush loaded up here. I'm going to do a test spray real quick. Close out nice and good. It's a little bit wet, but it should do. Alrighty, so we're here working on day number 2 of the ES40DC project. We have, so far, we have applied the basic fade coat, or base fade coat I should say, and the base grime coat. So now what we're going to do is we're going to apply a heavier grime coat. So I'm going to go ahead and get that mixed up using the original paint that we had by just adding some, just more brown and maybe a little bit of black or dark gray. So I can keep, I'm using the original paint mix so I don't have to rinse this out, waste a bunch of paint, and also I can, so that way I can keep the color along the same kind of spectrum, I guess, if that makes any sense, and keep the paint coloring sort of consistent, make it look make it look like it blends really nice. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get some new paint mixed up and get it applied to the model here. So now I'm gonna look look up, see if I can find a reference photo real quick of the grime coat. You can kind of see here this reference picture, or reference photo, and I'd go based off of that, which is like a dark, like I said, dark umber. And we're gonna fade. We're gonna apply that to the underbody. We're back here in paint shop. We're about to take our mix of our second grime coat here, this dark brownish gray here, and we're going to make a soot coat for the roof. stain the side of the fuel tank.